Welcome back to Half A Hot Rods. This week we've got some big goals for Tucker's truck. This guy. They're going to include that pile of parts. So let's get going and see how far we can get. Yeah. Whoa, crap. Well, that's not going the way I had it planned either. That's what we call a clue, kids. You feel like it's looking right at your face? We had to cut off 3 of the 4, had to heat with a torch. Welcome back to Half A Hot Rods. Since we've got Tucker's truck running, I guess we ought to try to make sure it's going to stop. That way I can take it for a test drive and it doesn't kill somebody or smash up the truck. So here we go. We're going to start by, I popped the cover off and the front part of the master cylinder is empty. That's not good. The rear part's low. I know I got one wheel cylinder leaking because I could see it running down the wheel. So we're going to wipe this out real good, and then we will take a look, pull some wheels off and see what we got. That's the color that's supposed to be inside, right? Yikes. To be fair, most of these trucks I've seen with the translucent master cylinder reservoirs are dark like this. I mean, I guess they probably shouldn't be, but most of them are, and they work, so. And that stuff in the back is really not too bad. It's pretty clear yet. Kind of hate to suck all that out of there, but I kind of want to get it out of there since the front's clean now. I kind of want the back to be clean. Got this little fluid transfer dealio. Let's see if it'll work for this. Yeah. Whoa, crap. I don't think that's going to work. Let's try this a different way. So this is something my buddy Jeff showed me, and I know it'll work for fuel. I just don't know if I've got too short of a piece of hose here and it's not going to work, but I've cut a little hole in the end of this hose. I'm going to stick the air chuck in it and blow through there, and it should create a vacuum, a suction, that'll pull the fluid out of there and put it into here. See how it goes. Might have too many pieces to hang on to here too. Probably just going to make a mess. Should get a bigger bucket. A bigger target here. That should work better. See if it'll work. I think I got a hole cut too big. What's all that? We're starting to get a little drippage there. We're getting it. There's that water coming out of my air hose. Well, that's not going the way I had it planned either. I feel like we got some because my hands are all oily. That's mostly water out of my compressor. That's a whole other problem. Well, kind of half A worked. Also made a big A mess. Brake fluid's not good for paint. So, yeah. I think there was some level of success there. because that's not all water. Some of that's brake fluid, but I think I cut the hole too big is the problem. We're just going to try and sop up what's left. Oh yeah, we got most of it. I wouldn't call that a success, because I mean there's not much liquid left in there at all. So it did kind of work. Cool. The hard part is keeping the pressure steady so that you don't blow stuff all over the place. Make an even bigger mess than what I did. So on the driver's front brakes, I think our pad thickness is okay. We got plenty there. It's about the same on the inside. It's hard to see with the camera. Let's see if we can. So pads I don't think I'm going to do anything with. I was a little concerned because it felt like the brakes were locking up. And I was worried about these rubber hoses. You can see that one's all cracky. So we'll probably replace that one. I imagine the other side's in the same condition. We'll look at it and make sure. And we'll finish checking brakes and suspension parts. Then it might be time for a parts run. So the other side of the front looked okay. Back brakes, this is the one I was pretty sure was leaking. You can see we got moisture all over. This has only been moved around the shop since I redid the rear end. But here's a telltale sign. See that big wet spot on the tire? That was on the bottom before I moved it out. See that? That's brake fluid. So this one's almost certainly leaking too. But we'll pull it off and look at it. Just see what we got. You know, I'm about 99% sure what I've got already. Oh yeah. It's moist. Yep. Moister than an oyster. Wetter than a fat kid in a candy store. Oh, look at that. That's what we call a clue, kids. This little feller is supposed to be sitting nice and even like this little feller. So, we got two blown out wheel cylinders. The other side's not as bad as this one, but the rear rubber brake hose appears to be okay. It's original, so if it's not too expensive, we'll probably replace it. But before I go to town for parts, we're going to make sure that both of these hard brake lines come out of the wheel cylinders, because it wouldn't be a surprise if that didn't want to budge. So let's see what we get there. I think we got it. Felt like it turned independent of the line. I thought that one was going to stick, but it's turning. Since we learned our lesson the hard way on the long bed and the wheel bearings were bad and we were driving on them, we're going to check them on this one before we start driving on it. So I'm just going to, it's jacked up. Let's assume that it's on a jack stand, because that would be the safe thing to do. We'll pretend there's jack stands under it. And we're going to grab top and bottom of the tire and just try and wiggle it. And I don't know if you can see that movement in the wheel. Obviously the tire is going to flex some. But the wheel is also moving. And since it's bolted down securely to the hub, that means the hub is moving, which tells me there's a little bit of play in the bearings inside there. So we'll go back in and repack those. We did that on the long bed. Maverick and Wyatt showed you how to fix that. The next thing we're going to look at is steering stuff. We're just going to see if we get any slop side to side. And yeah, the steering wheel's not locked, so I could force it as far as I wanted to. But that little bit there, that's slop. That's something wore out under there. So let's look at that. Let's see if I can work around the camera without knocking it over. You can see there's movement right here. If you watch right there, it's a ball and socket joint, and that is going to be the pitman arm. That's what comes out of your steering gear. Okay, so we got some slop there. I'm also looking at tie rod ends here and then back here. I'm not seeing any movement in those, but on the other end of that drag link there is a idler arm. The idler arm's over here on the passenger side, this guy right here. It's got quite a bit of slop in it too. So I'm not seeing any movement in the tie rods on this side or back on that side. So we'll start with idler and pitman, at least wheel bearings on the driver's side. I'm going to jack this side up and look at it, and we'll go from there. And actually we're going to check ball joints too. So the ball joint is going to be right down here, this guy, and then there's another one right up yonder, top and bottom of the spindle. So we're going to check both of them, and I've got the suspension loaded because my jack is under the control arm, so it's just like it would be if it was underweight going down the road. And I'm going to go grab a bar and a block and try and move the tire up and down and see if those move at all. It looks to me like those are moving with the control arms, so I think they're okay. Okay, back in the shop, it's, I don't know, week and a half, 6 years later, and I got parts. I got lots of parts. We have wheel cylinders, we have brake hoses, we have some belts. Those are for something else. And, oh, there's some wheel seals in there somewhere. So we can pack bearings, replace 20-year-old hoses and wheel cylinders. We've already had some fun here. Wyatt's on his way back from town with wheel cylinder bolts because 3 of them would not back out and had to be cut. So they're on the way back. We got fuel filler hose coming. Ended up narrowing the filler neck here. I'm just going to show it to you fast so you can't see the welds because they're not good. Picked up a junkyard pulley for the alternator. I'll try that on for size, see if that'll work. Yeah, so Tucker's here to help today. Say hi, Tucker.
Hi, Tucker.
Okay, good job. All right, so we're just going to crank along here and keep going and see what we can do. So mind your butt crack.
That's half the views.
Yay! It's not that kind of show. Yeah. I'm going to change this pulley out and see if this one I stole off another truck at the junkyard. Not stole, I paid for it. Pulled it off another truck at the junkyard. Work. Mike could just leave that fan on there. This is a 5-rib pulley. We only need 4. hoping that this will line up and work, but I don't know. Okay, that's not ideal. Maybe I'm missing the washer from the other one. That's possible, because the way things bounced around in that toolbox running around the junkyard, I almost lost a bunch of stuff. Progress. We still need something for this lower mount, because that's one of the pieces that was missing off this truck. I guess we just hang this in there and then see. I don't want to get crazy on this until we know it's going to work, as far as cleaning it up and all that. Getting it?
Put that back on. We'll connect this first.
No, if that end's connected, you should be fine. We just, before that's tight, I would manipulate this line around, because it's probably going to twist inside there to where close to where you want it over here.
Okay.
You follow me?
Yeah, I'll just tighten it down a bit so it won't move too much, but I'll be sure to do that.
Yeah, so just take it loose enough so you can rotate that line inside the fitting.
Yeah. And
then you can move it around to where you want it. Otherwise, we're trying to bend and rebend, and that's not good for the metal. Let's see. Now, this isn't the right way to do this, but I'm hoping that it's close enough. I just don't know if it's going to be. I was kind of hoping that we could run that. Ah, idiot.
You idiot!
Sorry. Hoping that the inside of that would line up with the rest. I don't know if that's going to work or not, because we're going to pull the bottom in, and that looks like it's probably not lined up. If we run to the outside. Yeah, that might be close enough. I know where to get a bolt for this. I wonder how long before Wyatt's home. Let's see if Wyatt notices. Leave your junk in my way. Let's just try this bolt and see if that gets us where we want to be. Why do I always try the wrong way first? Every single time. How does our belt alignment look? Right? I mean, it might work. It might not. Is that pulling it forward?
That looks about right to me.
Okay. Well, it might work. What you got there?
$30 fuel hose.
It's made in China. How can they charge me $30 for it?
So between that and that, it's $35. Those aren't yours.
Those aren't
Those
mine.
are yours.
Those are way
mine.
too big. Okay. Those look more better.
More gooder?
More gooder. Look at that. I knew it was going to be expensive. $30 seems excessive.
Are you going to start it so I can hear it?
Well, we got to get fuel in it.
No, you don't. You don't need no gas.
I know what's wrong with it.
You ain't got no gas in it.
Ain't got no gas in it.
$35. Man, why is it always expensive when I send you? Got 2 hose clamps though, that's good. I was worried about having good hose clamps. Right.
I'm looking for myself, I'm on a budget.
Right.
But for that, I'll spend someone else's money.
Tucker's money's no object. Let's see.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Yes. Let's see.
Anytime you want to go to my job, you let me know.
Well, that's going to be a welder.
The only thing that's going to suck is probably for the first year and a half or so, I'm going to be a welder's helper. So I don't call the shots. I do all the work that he doesn't want to do.
You go from being my bitch to welder's bitch.
Do you have the half-inch impact and sockets?
Yes. Let's see if this fits our gassy tank. Take off our temporary gas cap. Here, hold that. Oh, like butter. It's going to be real close to being perfect. These are really expensive because they have to be rated for fuel. Radiator hoses won't hold up. Which is my first temptation. We have to get the bed on before we can fit this. We need to get the brakes finished before we can fit the bed. That makes me happy. I wish this wasn't so expensive, but I think that's just how they are. Alright, brake hoses, wheel cylinders, rock and roll.
Sex, drugs, rock and roll.
Let's see if we can get those brake hoses broke loose without tearing up anything else.
Do you have your Cyclops light?
Yeah.
I need to find out where I get one of those.
I don't know. Ask my secret Santa from work.
Other than your toolbox.
Yeah, you need to find out where you get a lot of things other than my toolbox. You schmuck.
You go there.
Okay, so that's just gotta come off there. Just come off there. That's all you gotta do.
Over yonder way.
What? Okay, so that one's off. Great. Has that got a bolt head on the other side? Are you serious? What? I'll bet that's warm. Well, it was a bolt. You know. Okay, I got more bolts. I'm about tired of fighting with stuff. Let's see, how miserable is this front one gonna be? Oh, there is a clip right there. I see you. Right?
Hey Dad, are you in the middle of something right now?
Yeah?
Dang it, Roberto.
What do you do?
I dropped a washer, picked up 3 coins before I got the washer.
You just got that expendable money. Okay, that clips off, and I think we still got to get a nut off the other side. Why am I doing this under here? Because I'm stupid? Fighting with this nut on the end of this fitting. on the old hose, which is trash. Ha! Suck it.
A tactical advantage, a secret weapon.
These are PVC cutters from Home Depot. I've used them for more different stuff they weren't meant for. They're awesome. Now I can get this nut on the bench and get it off.
Dad, can you pass me a half-inch wrench for you up there? Up there, over here, down there. Over yonder. Where'd it go?
Under your elbow.
Which elbow?
¿Dónde está el hoso nuevo?
What's nuevo?
Pinche gringo chingadero.
Chingue, pinche oso.
Easy. Honestly, what'd I do with that hose?
Oh, ¿habla español?
No.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
Will you throw me a 916,
No.
please?
I can't be fetching wrenches for you. I got my own stuff to do.
I don't have a car or down here, do it.
Well, get out and do it yourself. That's what I always have to do.
This kid's turned on me.
Are you looking for the fuel hose I just bought?
No, I'm looking for the brake hose that I just had in my hand 5 minutes ago. I literally just had it in my hand because I wanted to look and see how it attached. It's got pretty shiny brass fittings on it. I mean, it should stick out like a sore thumb in here. Pounder, are you laying on it? Probably not, because I don't think he's got up. Oh, there it is. Alright, so this needs to go in there. This needs to go through there. We need... that needs to go over there. Probably need a 1/4-inch bolt. How the hell?
Because it fits in there, you should have socked it on the bolts.
What's that other package say on it? Does it say FL? Yeah. No, I didn't get 2 front left. I just have the front left currently mounted on the front right. So now we get to take that one, new one, back off.
Okay, now we're experienced.
Yeah. Look at that. That one fits mucho more better. Mas bueno. And stuff. Mucho mas gooder. Why don't you go back to your home?
That means much more good. I'm a human translator.
You're a human translator? Thanks for clarifying. Stuff goes much smoother when you use the correct piece. I'm spinning that around and going, why can't I get this angle right? Well, because that's the wrong one, dummy. Alright, we need a 1/4-inch bolt for this guy, probably. Somebody had to cut that one off. Like a savage. Does that look like it's looking at you? You feel like it's looking right at your face?
I feel like it's a little tilted. Does this move up? Does it move up?
Probably adjust somehow.
There it is. There it is.
So I want it to be kind of looking where my eyes are looking.
Yes.
Think?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see what happens.
Okay, I gotta run the truck real quick. I'll go back.
Okay. For Pete's sake. It's so hard to find good help. You come with me. Alright, so we're going to top off the brakes. and then you're going to be in charge of pumping the brakes.
I can do that.
That's what she said.
I've bled brakes a few times, so my advice may be good, or it may be only as good as what I think I know, which might not be good. But hold on, don't do anything until I tell you. No, we gotta make sure we have the lid on.
Makes sense.
And then I'll tell you when to pump it and when to hold the pedal, and you'll just hold it and it'll go all the way down, and you'll hold it all the way down until I tell you to pump it again.
Got it.
Okay? The back ones in theory shouldn't give us any trouble breaking loose because they are on the new wheel cylinders. Okay, pump it till you get a little pressure. Okay, hold it. Oh. Alright, now pump it. Tell me when you get pressure and then hold it.
I've got pressure.
Okay, hold it. We're cooking with gas. Looks like our fluid level's okay, but we're going to top it off anyway. I don't know why that all doesn't look clean anymore. I mean, it's still better than what it was, but stuff may look good, but it's surprisingly bad tasting.
You know he's right.
Alright, well, that's not how that's supposed to work, but it might be how it has to work.
How come none of our batteries are over here?
Probably because they're all over on my bench. Probably. Does the pedal go down?
The gas pedal?
The brake pedal.
No, it's all the way down, man.
Okay.
Tell me to hold it.
Yes.
What's going on?
Can I use these ones that are hanging up? You don't need them, do you?
I do not need them. You can use them.
I got one on there charging, I don't know.
They should all be very close to full charge, so
Well, I was one laying on the bench and I put it on charge.
go ahead and pump it.
Got it, boss.
Don't get him too used to hearing that.
Holding it.
Holding it.
Holding it.
You have the worst job ever. I refuse to help him because he's bad to help.
What?
You've heard me.
I'm a ray of sunshine.
You're a risk. Okay.
I get to hold it for him.
Yeah. And pump it.
I am more than willing to give that job to somebody else.
Alright. Pump it.
You got it, boss.
Alright. I hope you know I don't intend to edit any of your negative comments out.
Oh, mine?
Yes. Holding.
As long as you don't put my face in there.
Face is better than your attitude.
My attitude really sucks then.
That's not. Why is there a socket missing off this? It's the 10 millimeter too. You
Think it's under his truck?
probably. Little butthole. All right. Pump it up.
Holding it.
Hold it. This is why people get those fancy vacuum bleeders with a hose on them, because this is a mess. All right, pump it. Holding it. Hold it. Woo! That one got the top of the fender and my light. Son of a... Dang it. It's okay, light. Last time I did this, I had gas everywhere. Let's see if I can do this.
Oh, one of those pinholes isn't covered.
Yep. So raise that up a little bit. Just no, the whole thing. Maybe if I pour slower, it won't leak out of that yet. Still seeping, ain't it? Or is that just air bubbles?
No, it's seeping. Just run down the old finger.
Put your finger over it. It's just gas.
No, I mean, it's already on my hand, so.
Yeah.
Can't we just slide that up just a little bit further?
We might be able to, but it's jamming pretty hard because that's going from 1 7/8 to 2 inch where that is. We have the gas. What do I do with the lid? Anybody know? Try cranking it. What do you think? Once we get it so it'll start.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy. Pretty excited.
Give it a little. Sounds pretty good. I like Flowmasters. That's what that is, 3 inch for the Flowmaster.
Yeah, I think that sounds pretty damn good. And that's enough. I couldn't be any more hard right now.
Sounds pretty okay, yeah?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay, I'm not sure where we left off here, but we've got brake hoses replaced on both sides. I only had to do 3 of those to get 2 done. I got wheel cylinders on both sides. We had to cut off 3 of the 4 wheel cylinder mounting bolts, so that was fun. Had to heat 2 of the hose fittings with a torch, equally as fun. Got everything bled out. We were playing around putting it in gear and seeing if the wheels turned, and I knew better, but I didn't put the wheels on, so one of the drums went shooting off. Then when I hit the brakes again, it pushed the wheel cylinder out. Hopefully it didn't ruin it, time will tell. So I had to take that back apart, relieve the pressure on it, push it back together, and then bleed that corner again just to be sure. So the problem I'm having is unless I hold the RPMs up manually, this wants to die when I put it in gear. Now, if you remember back a couple videos, I had the distributor out. And on the TBI engines, the throttle body injected ones, it has timing controlled by the computer. You have to set base timing with the computer disconnected, and then the computer will control it from there. So my thinking is RPMs are too low because the timing is off, and I'm going to go in and set base timing to 0, which is what it's supposed to be according to YouTube and the internet and such, and then we will hook it back up and see where it's at. First, I'm going to start it up, hook up my timing light because it's got a tachometer, see what the RPMs are now. That way we'll know if I made a difference in RPM by changing the timing, which I think it will. Let's see what happens. Also got that alternator in there and hooked up, and I think it's working the way it should be. No, brown with a black tracer. There it is. Okay. No, we're going to leave that hooked up and see what our RPM was. Let me go get my timing light. And we're going to put the spark plug wire deal on the number 1, far away from heat. Like exhaust heat. Obviously there's heat everywhere in here. Well, that could be a problem. So this light you can set to show the advance, and it'll, when you advance it on the light, it'll bring it down to the 0 mark so you can see. It's showing 38.5 degrees advance. That's way off. I'm honestly a little surprised it's running. So we'll bring it down and I'll have to adjust it. Yeah, no wonder wonder it's having trouble. So we'll loosen the distributor up. We'll bring this guy down to 0. And then we will get her done. Oh, what's that RPM? 610? Yeah, it's no wonder it can't stay running when it's in gear. 600 degrees, or 600 RPM. Yep, that's a problem. That is definitely a problem. Try and tighten it down so it doesn't move when it shuts off. Tighten it, so we'll check it again. Still on 0. RPM still 600. Might need to turn the fan on so it doesn't kill me. Now let's see what it does with the computer hooked back up. Check our temperature while we're in here. Still not real high idle. 610, 620. Let's see what happens when I try and put it in gear. Yeah! So that's all the problem was. 37 degrees of unnecessary advanced timing. I should know better. I should know better. But we figured it out. So it is what it is. If you're looking for a professional, I'm the wrong guy. The sad thing is Tucker was here when we could have put the wheels on and drove this hog. Next time, Tucker, next time. Well, next time you'll get to drive it. I might drive it before then. I had to shoot Tucker a text telling him about our success. That one even kind of starts like a TBI truck. More gooder. Makes me happy. Every once in a while I get a win. I guess we're going to put the other belts on this hog. Put some wheels back on her. Maybe go for a ride. Maybe. I don't know. Or maybe I should just clean up my mess and call it a win. End on a good note. Well, I think that's just what we're going to do. We're going to end this week on a high note. We had some mess ups and redos and messed it up again and redid it again, and there was a lot of messing up. But you're going to have that when you're figuring this stuff out. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to have all the right tools. You don't have to have a huge budget. You can figure it out. It's just going to take you longer than you want it to.
You think?
Yeah, it's taken longer than we had hoped, but we are making progress. We didn't get the wheel bearings packed. We'll probably do that off camera since I've already done a video, or my boys have already done a video, showed you how to do that. We're getting real close. So we'll be back again soon on this truck, and hopefully be making that one tire fire just make all kinds of smoke. Until next time, thanks for watching. Check us out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and remember, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.